Welcome in to the Fantasy Football Game Show. We are Front Yard Fantasy. This show is brought to you by Better Sports Network. I am joined by my good buddy Joey, and Joey and I are joined by a very special guest, good friend of FYF. He's the co-founder of Pros with Joe's. And if you watch any amount of FYF, you've almost certainly seen him on. We got Eric Romoff in the building. What up, Eric?
Hey, what's going on, guys? We're the day after 4th of July, so it means that we have to pour one out for the tip of Jason Pierre-Paul's finger. Rest in power. It also means that we are deep into the start of draft season, right? This is where things really start ramping up for us.
This is where it begins. I saw this past weekend, Brett Coleman mentioned on Twitter something about July 4th is when NFL comes back. That's when the interest is back. Yeah. That's when your league mates are starting to click on their phones, typey little NFL, little fantasy. I know Joey is. How you doing today, Joey?
I'm good. I was typing. Today's my last day before vacation, so I'm ready to have a good show and then F off for 7 days.
What Joey doesn't know is this is a permanent vacation.
Yeah, it's bound to happen sooner or later.
The day before vacation is undefeated.
It is.
Peak excitement.
Yeah, just living on top of the world.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You guys know who else is living on top of the world? The chat. We got Jordan in here. Said first. Welcome in, Jordan. We got Scampers in here. Dustin, what's going on? We got all the FYF fam in here. We got Victor said, hola, brochachos. Is Brochacho Simon back today? If so, smash that like button. And even if not, smash that like button. Didn't expect that. Did not expect that one. We got Craig, the FYF historian, coming in saying today is Eric's 12th FYF appearance, 8th time competing in a game, and 5th time playing Pole Perception. He's 1-3 in Pole Perception. Ooh,
about to be 1-4.
I would not have guessed I snuck in a win there. I know I wiped the floor with Joey last time out, but that was not.
Wow. I don't know if that's true, but it probably is.
Fight. I'm enjoying this. I like being the host today. And Dustin asks, who is the host today? It's me. Surprise. Yeah. Mm-hmm. In case you couldn't tell. All right, well, we brought Eric on to play some Pole Perception with us today. If you have never watched FYF before, Pole Perception is our OG game. It's our flagship game where we guess on polls that we found on the internet, all around fantasy football. Try and guess what the public feels about certain polls. I'm going to go through the rules shortly, but before I do, make sure you go and follow Eric on Twitter at FantasyNav, right there under his luscious beard. Oh, that beard tickles the heck out of him, I'm sure. Look at that. Make sure you go follow Eric at FantasyNav on Twitter. And then when you're done, come back here, hit that like button on YouTube. We're here every single day, every single weekday, 3 p.m. Eastern time, playing games, talking fantasy football. Boys, we got a game of Pole Perception for you today. You ready to get into the rules?
Oh, I'm so ready to get into these rules.
All right. Prior to the show, I went out and found 7 polls. 7 polls online, on Twitter, on Reddit, all around the world. These polls, each contestant is going to have a poll. I'm sorry, let me back up. For each poll, one of these contestants is going to set the line. So they're going to say, I might say, what percentage of people chose Saquon Barkley over DeAndre Hopkins? If Joey's the one who's up that round, if Eric's the one up that round, he's going to set the line at 35% of people who he thinks chose side A. And then Joey's going to have to guess whether he thinks the actual percentage was over or under. The closer Eric is to the actual percentage, the more points he'll get. And if Joey gets the over-under correctly, he'll also get points. Mm-hmm. Whoever has the most points at the end has to kiss a frog. Those are the rules. Again. Okay. All right, so let's get into it. Let's see the order today is Joey. You will be going first, followed by Eric.
Okay,
that's how it's going.
I look forward to your questions, JL.
Do you? Well, they're Jay's questions, so I hate to disappoint you, but I love to watch you leave.
Looking forward to them.
Ladarius in here said, "Good afternoon, all." And Eric has a fine-looking beard. That's what I said. You and me, Ladarius, on the same
very tickly
beard length. We're on the same beard length. All right, Joey.
I'm ready.
Here it comes. Open up.
Okay.
Would you rather have the season in Seattle? Kenneth Walker III, or Zach Charbonnet? What percentage of the public chose Kenneth Walker III in this poll?
While I think we could be looking at like a 50-50 split between these two guys towards the end of the season, I don't think this poll is going to be 50-50. I think Kenneth Walker is going to win this by quite a bit. I'm just trying to figure out the number I can put up here that's going to get me some points.
That is the objective of the game.
I'm going to go, you know what? I'm going to be a naughty boy. It's my last day before vacation. I'm going to go 69%.
69%. Locking that in?
Yep.
All right. 69%. Eric, do you think the actual percentage was over, under, or exactly even with Joey's guess of 69%? By the way, I totally forgot to mention that mechanic in the rules. In addition to over or under, contestants can choose Queen Bee, which means it's exactly right. If they get that correct, they're going to get 10 points along with the contestant. So, Eric, what would you like to do here?
I am going to shade to the over here. I think most people perceive Zach Charbonnet as more of a thorn in the side than a real redraft asset, assuming that this is a redraft question. So while I'm very tempted to say Queen Bee just because I want to have the double nice on 69, I think we'll finish, or rather, you can lock me in for over on that mark.
All right, Eric, taking the over on Joey's guess of 69%. And we got some guesses here in the chat. Just a good reminder, throw your guesses in the chat. If you are closer than the contestants on the screen, you will be promoted. They will be fired, and you will now own all of their net worth. We got 74% from Victor. We got 67% from Ladarius. 63% from Albert, 68% from Swamp, 72% from Dustin, 88% from Scampers. We got J-Wall in the chat. So 71%. What up, J-Wall? We got 58% from Dame and 74% from Craig.
I do like Dustin's comment. It should be heavy on the sharp side, but people are stupid.
It should be heavy on the Zach Charbonnet side, is what he said?
That's what he's saying.
Dang. Well, just to recap here, Joey, you guessed 69% of people chose Kenneth Walker in this poll. Eric, you guessed the over on that. The actual percentage of people who chose Kenneth Walker was 87%.
Ooh, oh.
Joey, we were outside 15 percentage points away from the actual answer, so you're going to get no points on this one. But Eric, you correctly guessed the over-under, which means 2 points for you, my friend. Well done.
Might be my only 2 points of the day.
I'm just going to go to start cheating and just whatever Scamper says from now on is what I'm going to go with.
The Scampers get it right?
88. He was 1 point off. 1
point off. Probably just to throw off the cheating detectors.
Yeah.
Classic Scampers move right there. Well done. Well done. Eric, that's going to put you in the lead 2-0 here. And I wanted to ask you guys, what are you thinking about this Seattle backfield? I feel like Seattle is such a weird team to try and analyze this offseason, and they just made it weirder at the running back position. How are you guys feeling about that? What decisions are you making around these guys as you're going into the season?
I'm still taking Walker over Charbonnet at this point. I love the talent for Charbonnet. I was actually really disappointed that he went to Seattle. I was pretty on record saying I want him to go to Cincinnati because I think that would have been a perfect fit. If Joe Mixon was going to move on, it was going to be the perfect situation for him. I was going to be super happy. He didn't go there. He went to Seattle. So I like the talent with Charbonnet. I feel like the best case scenario for him is a 50-50 split. Yeah, I do think he could get the goal line carries, though, which could really boost his value.
Yeah, the goal line carries. It feels like that the touchdowns are going to be tough to figure out on the Seattle team. Eric, where do you think the touchdown distribution is going to go?
I think it'll probably shade towards Kenneth Walker when it's all said and done. This team, at least when they're in close, does a fair amount of running, right? A lot of their passing touchdowns are a bit more explosive in nature, kind of further away from the red zone. So when they are in scoring position, I do think Kenneth Walker is the one who's to see at least a majority of those scoring opportunities. And I'm completely in lockstep with Joey in terms of the dreams that Charbonnet went to Cincinnati. That's where I was hoping he would go as well, but he did not. He's now here in Seattle. And I think this almost kind of a reset, right? Like it felt weird to see Kenneth Walker getting really any passing down work in his first season because that's not really how he profiled coming out of school. And now I think we see him, kind of slide more into that early down work and goal line work when it's all said and done.
I wonder with these, with Walker and Charbonnet, if it was just Walker, I maybe wouldn't be so concerned. Geno Smith finishes the QB5 last year, and some of that did come with some rushing upside. Do you think with two capable running backs now that could kind of peter off some of Geno Smith's upside with the rushing yards?
Yeah. I mean, with that backfield, fully stocked now, I do think we see them run incrementally more through their running backs, right? Pete Carroll has always been, pretty conservative and bland in his play calling. So I think it's, a step towards normalcy and what he's most comfortable with. And, with that, I feel like we probably saw Geno Smith's ceiling last season. So to expect him to do anything more than that is probably a bit of a reach for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be super interesting to see how Geno's performance changes from last season to this season. Not only in the fact that just seeing how he does, like, does he consistently play well like we saw him do last year? But then on top of that, there's all this other change in that offense. And I don't know if Geno Smith, I don't know if that Seattle offense is the offense that's going to be able to land on the right side of variance there.
What I like is that Geno's not going as the QB5. He's going as like the QB 15, QB 16. Right. So it makes okay, because I am pretty in on Geno Smith this year because of his value, not because of what he did last year per se. I mean, that's what I used to kind of defend it a little bit, but I don't think he's going to have a QB5 season again. I think he'll be somewhere maybe around QB 10. So
yeah, and your point being you don't have to pay QB5 numbers for the possibility, which is nice.
Exactly.
All right. Well, Eric, you are in the lead here.
Whiffed on that one.
We got some people in the chat praising the cat. So, wow, Scampers, you smart cat. So smart. So smart. All right, Eric, we're going to into our next poll, and this one is yours. You ready, my friend?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, here it is. Will Deontay Johnson be a top 20 wide receiver this year? No or yes? What percentage of the public chose no? He will not be a top 20 wide receiver this year.
What percentage of the public chose maybe
side A
is the real question here.
True.
He was not a top 20 wide receiver last year. I think he was relatively close, but I don't recall where he finished offhand. And I think most people are a bit bearish on this Pittsburgh offense, myself included. It's another year with Matt Canada, so don't think that people are really expecting a huge step forward in terms of their offensive prowess or their passing capability. So I think no wins the day here. I'm going to go with 71% no. I think it's a pretty good majority.
71%, locking that in?
Lock it in.
All right, 71% from Eric. Joey, do you think the actual percentage that chose side A no in this poll was over, under, or exactly even with Eric's guess of, what was it again, Eric? I talked in
71%.
71%. Thank you. I'm staring at an empty box.
I think Eric put up, I almost called you Aaron. Eric put up a really good line. I've got Deontay Johnson as my wide receiver 33. So that's pretty far away from 20, quite a bit. And so to be in the top 20, he would need to outperform Calvin Ridley, DJ Moore, Amari Cooper, people in that tier. And I don't think even with the volume Deontay Johnson gets in Pittsburgh, that he's going to touch that. So I'm actually going to go a little over here. I think Eric set a fantastic line, unlike the last round when I said a horrible line. I think Eric set a really good line here.
Wow. You guys started off, you guys are like Sour Patch Kids. You started off so mean to each other. Now you're being so sweet. All right. We got some guesses in the chat. We got 61% from Swamp, 52% from Dustin.
How you doing, Swamp?
We got 93% from J-Wall, 59% from Victor, 58 from Dame, 70 from Maria. Let's see. I already went through those. We got 69% from the Dirty Cat, and we got 77% from Ladarius. I think I skipped Craig's 48%. Well done. And Albert's 54%. Wow. Too many guesses. All right. Recap, Eric. You guessed 71% of people chose side A in this poll, which was, will Deontay Johnson be a top 20 wide receiver this year? Joey, you picked the over on Eric's guess. The actual percentage was 68%. Eric.
That's the dream, Eric.
Let's go. Man. You were within 3 percentage points, which is going to give you 5 points, my friend. And you kept Joey from getting any points. No points for Joe.
Ooh, that's rough.
Guy's already in vacation mode.
Don't even care.
I've checked out.
I'm gonna talk my stuff while I can, because I'm pretty sure there is a flaming crash and burn at the end of this where Joey ultimately makes the comeback. Gotta fit it in while I have the opportunity.
When you said vacation mode, I thought of Ron Swanson when he gets a typewriter and he's like, America, butthole. I just feel like that's my mindset right now.
Oh my God, we can't trust anything. Joey's just gonna be off the shelf the rest of the show.
I'm just gonna turn around and do the show like with my hat flipped around. It's gonna be great. Like, we're talking out the back of my head. All right.
So Scampers do it again. 69% is 68%. Oh my God.
Ooh.
How?
Dialed in.
I don't know.
Is it a cat thing?
It's got to be the shoes.
It's the shoe. Whose shoes? Scampers' shoes?
Yeah, kitten mittens, of course.
Kitten mittens. Got to be the kitten mittens.
Do your cats make too much noise?
Give them stealth feet.
All right.
Well done. Well done, guys. Eric, that's going to give you 5 additional points, bringing it up to 7. Joey's at 0. Getting wrecked. Just getting absolutely wrecked.
Big O 0 today.
Big O 0. What do you guys think about Deontay Johnson in that Pittsburgh Steelers offense this year? He's a guy who, at times, we've seen just people get ridiculously hyped on him. Just tout the talent. And we've seen flashes of it in his games. Do you buy into it, or is he just a trip track?
I buy into it at cost. I don't think that he's a trip trap, right? Most mock drafts that I've done, most basketball drafts that I'm doing, he's kind of going right around that wide receiver 30 range, which is fine by me, right? Like even in a down year last year, still almost pushed for 150 targets, right? Up over 140 targets in each of the last 3 seasons. Maybe Kenny Pickett gets incrementally better, even if he doesn't. Like Deontay Johnson is just such a safe volume floor that specifically in builds where I'm, taking a bit more of a high upside, high risk kind of start to my draft, or I'm drafting positions that I typically don't take early. Deontay Johnson is a nice kind of security blanket of knowing that I'm going to get a pile of targets at a relatively affordable price.
Yeah. I completely agree with you, Eric, that touchdown regression is always a good thing to see. I mean, all of those targets and no touchdowns, not a single one.
Not a one.
That'll change.
I have him in the middle of my 4th tier of wide receivers. People like Michael Pittman, Mike Williams, all the Mikes are there apparently.
Yep.
Marquise Brown, Tyler Lockett. Those are around the guys that I'm taking Deontay Johnson with. I like him more than his teammate, George Pickens. I do like him more than that. So he'd be the wide receiver I would want from the Pittsburgh Steelers.
What makes you like him more than Pickens?
Volume. And I think he'll get the intermediate area targets, short area targets, where I don't think Pickens is going to get those. And I think Kenny Pickett's going to have to kind of lean on those. That's kind of why I like Pat Freiermuth still, as well as a tight end.
Do you think that the target distribution between those two guys will stay the same this year? Yeah.
I don't think Pickens can.
That sounds about right. Deontay Johnson was like right around 25% last year. The thing with Pickens, and I'll take every opportunity to dunk on Matt Canada. Matt Canada just basically has him run go routes, right? So like those are statistically more hard to complete, more difficult to complete than those kind of short to intermediate passes. So I think the share remains relatively similar, but also the type of target that they're getting, to Joey's point about volume, it's such a cleaner projection with Johnson than it is with Pickens.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know what we're talking about. Allen Robinson's going to lead this team in everything next year.
Yes. Team chaos.
I believe it when I see it. I'm not saying it won't happen, but I'm definitely not buying in until it happens. Grim had a question for us. A question for discussion. Out of the Jets, Broncos, Lions, Falcons, and Panthers, who is more likely to end their playoff drought?
I'm just going to be bold here and say they're all going to be in agreement on the same team. It's probably the Detroit Lions. They're favored to win their division. They look fantastic. Their offense, I mean, they would have made the playoffs last year if not for Seattle sneaking in there. So, yeah, I love the Lions. I love Jared Goff. I think they addressed one of their biggest deficiencies with pass-catching running backs last year. I think Swift wasn't working out for whatever plan they had. So they went and got Jahmyr Gibbs. And David Montgomery is a good pass-catching running back. He did very well with Chicago in that role. So, yeah, I think the Lions are set to go.
Yeah, Joey nailed it. I feel like the Lions are the consensus choice here. Las Vegas is supporting that, right? They have more ways to get there, right? They're the favorite for their own division, but also playing in the NFC. They've got a pretty good shot at a wild card berth as well. So by that proxy, I'm kind of eliminating the Jets as they're almost in the opposite scenario, right? Very tough division, very difficult conference to get a wild card ticket punched. And then the Falcons and the Panthers, I mean, they've both made incremental steps forward in terms of the talent on their roster, but ultimately, I mean, I think probably a 500 team wins the NFC South, and that's the only way that one of them gets there. For my money, I like the Saints, but you know, with those two teams, they're probably still a couple years away from sort of getting on the right side of 500, which is how I think they'll make their way there.
If I had to put, so I need to look at what the odds are division wise, but that Carolina Panthers, I feel like that team could easily win the NFC South. Because I mean, the Bucks are going to be dog crap. Like, and that's my team. I love them, but we're kind of holding out for next year. I cleaned up my language for the 3:00 show. If we were at 9:00, I would have said poop.
Dog poop.
Yeah, I would have said poop. But I do like Carolina to possibly win that division. The Jets, I mean, like, yeah, they got Aaron Rodgers and they've got incredible defense and they've got great pieces around Aaron Rodgers, but how long is it going to take him to get in lockstep with those? Because it does take Aaron Rodgers a little bit of time to build rapport with his receivers. Maybe that's why they brought in Allen Lazard and Randall Cobb, but we'll see.
You brought up the Jets. That's the team I would mention out of this group. Now, I think you guys bring up great points with the division aspect of this. The fact that the Lions or the Falcons or the Panthers could get that playoff spot from their division. But I think the Jets really could snag one of these wild card spots. They are one of the most well-built teams going into this season. And it's hard for me to see them, barring injury or just being way off base, them not contending for a playoff position. So I think it's likely.
Absolutely. They could be the Jets, and that could be the way they don't get into the playoffs.
That's true. They could just
make a lot of sense up there.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into our next poll here. This one, Joey, we're coming back to you.
Oh, I need to redeem myself here. I need to get one right on mark.
You do.
That's what I'm going to do right now.
On mark. So if any of you are Mark, let us know because Joey's got to put one on you. All right, Joey. 12-team Dynasty Superflex PPR League. Which side would you rather roster? Jahmyr Gibbs and Garrett Wilson or Justin Jefferson? What percentage of the public chose Jahmyr Gibbs and Garrett Wilson?
Are we sure Justin Jefferson's not overrated? Are we sure?
I'm sorry, who?
I don't know. See, that's right. I couldn't even say it. I couldn't even say it. The take was so hot, it didn't even leave my mouth correctly. The question I'm asking myself is Jahmyr Gibbs and Garrett Wilson enough to pull that trigger for Jefferson? Because he's either the 101 or 102 in most dynasty leagues. Superflex, it'll move down maybe a little bit. It's enough for me. If I were on the clock, or not on the clock, but if I were making this trade and I needed a running back, Garrett Wilson's enough of a downgrade to get the upgraded Jahmyr Gibbs, because I do like Jahmyr Gibbs a lot with the Detroit Lions. But do the people feel that way? I know how I feel in my heart of hearts. I'm going to go low. I'm going to say that side A loses this. I'm going to say 45%.
45%, locking that in?
No, I'm going to go lower. No, I'll stick at 45 because that's what I said first.
Okay, 45% locked in.
My
Eric,
bias is getting in the way.
do you think the actual percentage people who chose side A, Jahmyr Gibbs and Garrett Wilson in this poll was over, under, exactly even with Joey's guess of 45%?
So I have an unfair advantage in that I am a man of the people. So I'm just
Ooh.
dialed in on this answer.
Nice.
Joey almost corrected. The correct answer is 35%. So I'm going to be taking the under on this one. And really, I think some of this is just psychological, right? Like Justin Jefferson is in that moment in time where people just have him locked in as the wide receiver one in Dynasty, no questions asked. So almost in any poll, unless it is just a king's ransom, it's going to be hard for people to click the button or click the side that is not Justin Jefferson. So I think some of that is in play here, and I think this one comes into the under.
All right, logging in the under from Eric. Joey's guess of 45% on side A of this poll. And we got some guesses here in the chat. We got 29% from Scampers. Scampers has been nearly spot on this entire show, so
Ooh, I like this.
Keep that in mind. Victor, 21%, 17% from Dame, 37% from Ladarius, 33% from Albert, and Mr. Scampers with Justin Jefferson's all the way.
Goat.
And then Maria shouting out the 3-5 and straight vibing. Maria gets it. She's been here before.
And Jay Wall's here today, so it would make see, it's all in the universe. It's all happening.
This is all happening inside of the universe. You are correct.
Mm-hmm.
Well done,
this checks
Joey.
out.
Thank you.
All right. Well, Joey, you guys 45% of people chose Jahmyr Gibbs and Garrett Wilson over Justin Jefferson in this poll. Eric, you took the under. The actual percentage of people who chose side A was 52%.
Oh, I did good.
Joey, you were within 7 percentage points.
Okay.
Or you were 7 percentage points away, which means you were within 10, giving you 3 points in this one. And
all right,
you skunked Eric on this one.
Wow. And I think I skunked the chat. No one in the chat
you
believed in me because they were all under me.
How could you possibly skunk the chat? Oh, you're just saying you're the highest.
Yeah, I was the highest.
Yeah,
no one believed in me.
They just let you be that high.
And actually, I'm the one that gets to be on top. So there we go.
They're just letting you be on top.
I'm getting a little cocky for 3 points. I
would like to note that this, at least per the chat, still makes me a man of the people. We are just all inherently wrong.
Just
well, are you? Should side A have won this poll?
I don't think so. Right. I mean, for me, when we talk about these sort of like either or kind of trade discussions, a lot of it has to do with market value, which is going to fluctuate from league to league and theoretically from day to day. Right. So, for me, I think that it's more of an opportunity cost that you can probably get incrementally more for Justin Jefferson than these two. But like on its face, it's a perfectly fair trade. Right. If nothing else, we are in the midst of rookie fever season. So that's probably inflating the Jahmyr Gibbs side just a hair. I'd probably rather the J Jeff side, but ultimately, I think both parties probably walk away from this transaction feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
I said,
I would pick side A. Go ahead, Joe.
You would pick side A, Joey?
I would.
I want to hear your reasoning after this because I don't think I would pick side A. And the reason, let me back up. I wouldn't pick side A unless there was a very specific circumstance that I was facing, which is my team is very thin and I need to spread out these assets. Otherwise, I don't see a good reason for taking a Justin Jefferson and then taking on more risk for Jahmyr Gibbs and Garrett Wilson when it's likely the same value.
So my argument is exactly what you said. Basically, like, I don't think you're going to make this trade unless you need the depth.
Right.
So for me, I'm saying that's enough. That's enough for me to part ways with Justin Jefferson, because this is kind of what I want to maybe ask you guys. For me, Justin Jefferson isn't my wide receiver one in Dynasty. It's Jamar Chase. I just like the road that Jamar Chase has ahead of him with having Joe Burrow for the next 10 years. And they've said that they want to play together and we'll see if that happens. But I feel a little bit more safety with Jamar Chase than not knowing what's going to happen with Justin Jefferson once Kirk Cousins leaves.
I'm not even. I'm not worried about like the top tier at this position. I don't think Justin Jefferson is going to be bad on any of the 32 NFL teams.
Mm-mm.
So that leads me to believe, and I also just don't believe in Kirk Cousins. So I think Kirk Cousins might honestly be holding Justin Jefferson back.
Yeah, I mean, for whatever it's worth, I am in agreement with you, Joey. I've got Jamar Chase ahead of Justin Jefferson, but ultimately it's a splitting hairs type of argument, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And kind of going back to my original point, I think most of the market is on the Justin Jefferson side of that equation relative to Jamar Chase, right? So, you should be able to get a little bit more than this, especially like this time of year, right? I'm assuming that it is July 5th when this trade is proposed. Like someone to JL's point at the top, like they're just firing up the fantasy sports app. They're doing a little clickety clack on the keyboard, and they're trying to figure out how they can make a big splash over the course of the offseason. So they're going to go out and get Justin Jefferson. I think you could counter and probably get more from this manager, or generally more if you just float out the fact that, the quote unquote wide receiver one is available in your dynasty league.
Yeah, it's a big name. People want that. They like having that safety. You brought up some great points of the psychology aspect of this, Eric. We got a better boss in the chat bringing up Carolina. He said Carolina sneaky stack this season. The young Sanders Shark stack. Sign me up, Eric. How you feeling about that Carolina team, the skill position players over there for fantasy?
Yeah, I think that they're actually going a little bit underdrafted, right? I think that they all hold value onto themselves. I don't know if I'm quite as far in as Matt here with the three-way stack, including a running back and a wide receiver. Like usually you're looking for a bit more correlation with your stack. And specifically to the wide receiver that he named, I'm not entirely sure that DJ Chark is the one that actually wins that quote unquote wide receiver 2 or kind of Z job there in Carolina, right? I think this is one that we're going to have to watch the camp battle unfold between him and Terrace Marshall and to a lesser extent Mingo.
And Adam Thielen.
No,
he's top 15 in red zone targets last year.
He's already on the field, right? I'm talking about who's going to be his running mate. I'm not sure.
Okay. Sorry about that. No, I'm in too. I was pretty much the Anthony Richardson guy up until about 2 weeks ago, and I still am. I still love the talent with him, but I started seeing where Young was going in drafts, like 5-6 rounds after him, and I'm like, now I'd kind of rather have Young than Richardson. Just the value there, and I think he could have a decent season as a quarterback too on Superflex teams.
Yeah, I'm with you. We mentioned it a little yesterday during the mock draft, but Bryce Young feels like a strong value this going into the season, just where he's being drafted. And Maria said, "Say it right, Jefferson." It's even hard to fake it. It's so hard.
One of these days, I'm just gonna spit the marbles out that every show I come into.
I told you stop before the show. Eating marbles during the show, Joey.
They taste so good, though. I can't help it.
Oh my God. I'll take you to the ER again. Craig in here, we're getting to our next poll, said 14-0 is the highest two-player shutout in poll perception history.
Ain't happening today.
We'll see. We'll see. Let's get into our next poll. Eric, this one is yours. Dynasty PPR startup. Who are you taking at the 701, which is the first pick in the 7th round? Trey Lance, Jamison Williams, Marquise Brown, or Russell Wilson? What percentage of the public chose Trey Lance?
I would have to say I was told there would be no math. So I'm gonna need a minute to.
I'm guessing Jay told you that.
Kind of recoup here.
He lied.
Jay.
God. Also, Scampers had it right. I thought Joey was trying to lead me to Laviska Shenault.
All roads.
Back to the task at hand. I don't think it's many, right? I don't think that he's going to get a proportional share of this answer. I'd much rather have really any of those three. I'm going to go with We go with a cool 11% for Trey Lance.
A cool 11%. Locking that in.
Lock it in.
Yeehaw. All right, 11%. Joey, the actual percentage shows Trey Lance in this poll over, under, or exactly even with 11%.
I have not seen Trey Lance go anywhere near the 7th round. So I would find this, and this isn't Superflex. This is one quarterback, right? Yeah, I'm going to go under, honestly. I think that if you're using a 7th round pick on Trey Lance, even in a startup, like not Superflex, yeah, that's too high for me. So I'm going to go under.
Right.
If I could go way under on 11%, I would, but the math would not line up. There's no -4 percentage points.
As long as it's more than one, I'm getting a point here.
All right, math. That's now that you had a little bit of math, now you're good to go. Now you're good to go, Eric.
Tables.
If Lance got 0 votes, I will chuckle.
I will chuckle.
I will happily forfeit just for that to be a thing.
Yeah, 49ers faithful will come through to get him some points. Their Dames, she's on
the
mark.
49ers staple.
Faithful.
Stapler?
49ers.
Oh, faithful. You said they're stapler. I was like, why would they come through?
It's a swing line.
0.5% from Dame. We got 8% from Victor, red. 7% from Scampers, 13% from Ladarius, and 9% from Albert. And we got Jay in here. Said, someone say Visca? Nope.
His notification game is strong. There's nowhere in the world that Visca gets mentioned that it doesn't land on his radar.
He's probably watching live, and it still took him like 5 minutes to type that.
That was a really good insult. Like, so multi-leveled. That's good.
What were we doing? We were doing a poll, weren't we?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't remember. Oh, yeah. Okay, we just went through I was too busy just enjoying Roasted Jay. All right. We were doing a poll, and the poll was Dynasty PPR startup. Who are you taking at the 701? And Eric, you guessed 11%. 11% of people chose side A. Joey, you chose the under.
Mm-hmm.
The actual percentage of people chose Trey Lance in this poll was 17%.
Oh, that was brutal.
17%. Oh. Eric, you are 6 percentage points away, which is going to give you 3 points, my friend.
Oh, no.
And Joey, what happened? What happened?
What happened?
What happened, Joey? What happened?
And this is a perfectly timed poll because earlier today I had the fleeting thought as to whether or not I should put some lowball offers out there for Trey Lance. And apparently not, because it shouldn't be anywhere near 17% that are selecting Trey Lance here. So don't think I'm going to get the steal on him that I was maybe envisioning.
So I think all of these players here in this poll have ambiguity in their situation, something that is keeping us from really buying all in on the talent that the player's been hyped with in the past. And so is Trey Lance the guy that stands out the most to you, or which player here do you think will take the biggest jump in value this season?
Versus last, I guess it'd be around the same. I think people were hyped for Russell Wilson last year, and then I think people fell off from him, and then they brought Sean Payton in, and the Russell Wilson hype is right back up. So I guess it wouldn't be taking a leap for Russell Wilson. Marquise Brown's been getting a lot of love with D-Hop on the way out now. I've seen Marquise Brown really shooting up the draft board. Jameson Williams, people just still don't want to draft him because of that 6-game suspension. But this is a dynasty startup, so I don't have those worries for 6 games with Jameson Williams. I can find someone to fill in for the first 6 weeks of the season this year, and then have Jameson Williams for the next 6-7 years.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm coming from. Like Jameson Williams in the dynasty context screams as the biggest value out of these 3, right? Like if he did not have a 6-game suspension heading into this year, he would be a much earlier draft pick than the 701, right? So, these are 2 things that are kind of working in competition with each other. You shouldn't be drafting your dynasty team with a 6-game perspective, right? You're looking for long-term assets, and the fact that he's slid into this hypothetical 7th round is fantastic value for Williamson.
Yeah, the dynasty aspect is a great call out. And I think all of these players, barring Russell Wilson, you have to take that outlook on, right? You have to take a long-term outlook. Even Marquise Brown, right? The situation for him is great right now, but it doesn't stop Arizona from potentially changing that situation either before the season or during the season. So Trey Lance, I'm not as worried about. I think he'll be okay. When everybody is down on a player because they haven't seen something that they were expecting to see, I tend to get a little less worried. And so Trey Lance, I think the situation will clear up. Do you guys think it will eventually clear up for Trey Lance and he'll have a NFL career, or is this the end of the road if it doesn't work out here in 49ers?
I think he's going to get another shot. I think it could be as soon as next year with Tampa Bay. I think if Tampa Bay doesn't get Caleb Williams, they're going to go get Trey Lance or Kyler Murray. Because I don't think Baker's going to work out in Tampa Bay. Sorry, Baker Mayfield.
Poor Baker.
No mention of Kyle Trask. Such disregard.
Listen, no, I'm a Florida Gator fan, and I was hoping Kyle Trask would learn behind Brady for 2 years, and we just didn't see it happen. I think if Kyle Trask was ready to go and would have learned behind the greatest quarterback or greatest NFL player in history, we would have seen him on the field this year, and they went out and got Baker Mayfield instead.
Yeah.
And this is someone that liked him.
That is Joey's fourth team that he has claimed allegiance to just on today's live stream. But his prior point, I'm right there with him. I think that Trey Lance does get another opportunity at some point in this league. Time has told that a quarterback that has very early first round draft capital is going to get numerous opportunities before he eventually washes out. So somebody will kick the tires on him sooner rather than later.
Dustin, I hope you're right. I really, really do. Because I would love to buy myself a Buccaneers Kyle Trask jersey.
Would you?
Just don't see it happen.
Will you commit to that right now on air?
If Kyle Trask gets the job and isn't
if he starts one game, if he starts a single game this season, will you buy a Kyle Trask?
No, because I think Baker's gonna stumble out the gate, and they'll put Kyle Trask and they'll want to kick the tires and see how he is. I would need Kyle Trask to finish as a top 20 quarter. I'll even go like
top 20. He's not going to start that many games. That's a dumb bet.
Okay, points per game then. And points per game, he needs to be a top. Ooh. I'm going to say 20 quarterback because I'll go 18. Top 18 quarterback. If Kyle Trask finishes the season,
no, that's a terrible metric.
Where's the line? No, I'm giving but points per game.
Points per game matter how many for a player who is not going to play that many games is going to be all over the place. That's a bad metric.
Cue the scene when Jacoby Brissett used to come in and throw the Hail Marys for the Colts, right? Trask comes in and throws 170-yard touchdown and never takes another snap.
Boom! You own 100 Kyle Trask jerseys.
There. See, I thought you were wanting me to buy the jersey.
I do, but I also don't want to buy the jersey.
Oh, you would have to buy it?
I'm just assuming this is a bet.
That's
got to be stakes on both sides, right?
How wagering works, yeah.
I just thought maybe we'd make you buy a jersey you don't want if it happens.
All right, let's move into our next poll here. The score 7-3. Is that correct?
No, it's 10-3.
No, it is 10-3.
Oh, I'm gonna have to do that thing where I get it all right on the end.
Yeah, that you never do.
I'm just gonna queen B with
once.
You did do it once.
Going down with the ship.
All right, this next one is. On the wall. I think this is yours, Eric. Right? No, this is yours, Joey. You ready?
No, it's mine. Yep.
Oh, before we get into this round, there's a new mechanic I must introduce.
Ooh, I love mechanics.
In addition to over, under, and queen B, or exactly even, contestants can choose a double or nothing mechanic. They can choose way over or way under. If they think their opponent's guess is more than 15 percentage points away from the actual guess, they will get 4 points instead of 2. But if they're wrong, if it's not outside of 15 percentage points, they're going to get no points, even if they correctly guess the over, under aspect. All right, Joey.
I'm in.
Your poll.
I'm ready to go. Let's go.
Pratt Freierfruth is currently the consensus tight end 7 in Dynasty rankings. If he finishes this year as tight end 3 in redraft, where will he be ranked in Dynasty in January? Top 3? Top 4 to 6? Or top 7 or worse? What percentage of the public chose top 3, Joey?
So I'm gonna A, B, and C. I think B will win this because I don't think that he would pass over. In Dynasty, he might pass Kelsey after this year. After this year, if he finished top 3. I'm still going to go. I think B is going to win this. I'm going to go 31% side A.
31%. I think you were just.
I made this mistake once before. 3-5 and straight vibing. Let's go.
3-5, so 35.
Yeah, because I don't think side C is going to get anything. Because I think Pat Frymuth if he finishes his top 3, he's already going a 7. His value is going to go above where it's at. I don't think C is going to get much from this at all.
Okay, so you were locking in 35% of people chose side A top 3.
Yes.
Okay. Eric, do you know the actual percentage that chose side A was over, under, way under, or exactly even with Joey's guess of 35%?
I'm so scared right now.
Good.
Choices give me anxiety. I agree with Joey that B probably wins this one pretty considerably. I don't think that C comes away with nothing, and by proxy, I don't think many people are gonna feel good. At least follow Joey's sentiment that a single tight end 3 season for Pat Frymuth will unseat Travis Kelce in dynasty ranking. So I'm gonna take the under here, but I don't feel very good about it.
Okay, the trepidatious under.
It's the only type of under there is.
It could be a word. Who knows? We got Dustin in the chat. 5%. 5% from Scampers. 18% from Dame. 15% from Victor. 25% from Albert. And 31% from Ladarius.
I don't know the people.
Last time I was with the people, this didn't go well.
Well, we'll see how it goes this time. Because Joey guessed 35% of people chose Pat Frymuth will be ranked as a top 3 dynasty tight end next season. Eric chose the under. He thinks less percent of people chose side A. The actual percent was 21%. 21%.
Bailey got a point.
Joey, you just squeaked out a point in that one because you were 14 percentage points away. I'm just going to give you 1 single point. Eric, you correctly guessed the over-under, giving you 2 points. Well done. Well done. That brings the score to 4-12.
Do you know or no?
The breakdown was 21% chose side A, 69% chose side B, and 10% chose side C.
That's about right.
Okay. Yeah, that was it. You didn't give that 10% to C. And that's
I didn't.
Right,
you know what? You're exact. Yeah. That's exactly where it came from. I thought maybe like 5 to 8% for side C. So why did I say the number I came up with? I don't know.
Who knows? Albert was the closest. I think so. Or no, Dame. Dame was the closest. 18% with the under. I don't know what I was like. Underbelly of the guess. I don't know what I was going for there. All right. We're getting into our penultimate poll here. Eric, you ready?
Ooh, I am.
All right. Here it is. On the clock. Who are you taking? Isaiah Pacheco, David Montgomery, or Rashad White? What percentage of the public chose Isaiah Pacheco in this poll?
Not done. I don't believe. These guys are relatively close to each other in ADP. I'm just going to go with a nice even 33%.
33%. Locking that in?
I'm locked in.
Okay. Joey, was the actual percentage over, under, way under, or exactly even with Eric's guess of 33%?
I think Eric said a really good line. I'm going to go under because I think Montgomery and Rashad White are going to beat out Pacheco. I actually really like Isaiah Pacheco this year. He's playing for the Kansas City Chiefs, and they're a pretty good team. And they brought back Jerick McKinnon, but I don't think Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to be much in that offense. Yeah, I'm going to go under. I think Eric said a really good line. He's going to win this game today.
All right, Joey locking in the under.
Yeah.
We got some guesses here in the chat. We got, I don't know where they started. Let's see. We got 24% from Scampers, 29% from Dame, 27% from Ladarius, 40% from Victor, 22% from Albert, and we got a cool C from King Yada. What up? Welcome in.
I feel like Maria wants to see me get buried today. I'm reading the chat right now. My heart is broken, Maria.
She might. She said Eric up by 8. Maybe he can set a new record today. I think it was 14. Craig said
that was a shutout.
I think.
The biggest
Craig
shutout.
said he's not sure what the biggest differential is in a heads-up game, which means that if he can't disprove it, anything that I win by is the new record. Right?
Yeah, that's proven until disproven. Yeah, that's how it works. All right. Well, Eric, you guessed 33% of people chose Isaiah Pacheco in this poll. Joey, you guessed the under. The actual percentage of people chose side A, Isaiah Pacheco, was 32%. Oh, Eric, you were 1 percentage point away. So close. So close. I thought you might have gotten it. It's
Didn't
gonna
I say
give
32?
You did not. You said 33%.
I think that's it for me today.
Said 33%. 1 percentage point away, which is going to give you 5 points. Joey, you correctly guessed the over-under, which is going to give you 2 points.
And that paced me out of it. Yep.
Does that put you out of it?
Yep. It's 11-point lead.
All right. Well, we still have a final poll just to see for the record books. Eric, do you have a pen and paper or something to write your answer down on?
Damn it. I've played this game like 14 times, and
we never tell anybody.
Minus 5 points for not being prepared.
That is true.
It should be, I think, 17.
I'm going to have to borrow somebody's Scantron. That'll cost me $5.
Every Scantron is $20.
I'm ready.
All right, you ready? All right. This one is going to work a little differently than the previous polls. Both contestants are going to give me a percentage guess. Whichever contestant is the closest, they're going to get 5 points. If the contestants share an answer, they will share a fate. If either of them hits it exactly correct, they'll get 10 points. And I think that's everything.
What is the shared fate? Do I also have to buy a Kyle Trask jersey?
You don't. You have to buy 50 Kyle Trask jerseys. Yeah.
Can you update the points? Because there is a record at stake here.
There is. Whoops. It is 6 to 17. Too much. 6 to 17. Wow, Joey, what happened?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. As Eric's so beautiful, looking at his beard and not wearing pants.
He was thinking about getting tickled by the beard. It's distracting.
Mm-hmm. I was.
All right. How did you know that Eric's not wearing pants?
No, I said I'm not wearing pants, but I assume Eric's not wearing pants.
How do you know that you're not wearing pants?
I just assume that all guests
are not
wearing
pants.
Got
slacks on today.
Wait, Jay doesn't text that to all the guests that it's no
in the
pants
contract
on a party?
No, he doesn't. It's just you, I guess. I don't know.
Weird.
All
we
right,
are
guys.
respectful to the ladies on the show. We don't say anything to them. All the guys that come on the show, no pants.
No pants. All right, guys. Here's your last poll. Fireworks. Love them? Hate them? What percentage of the public chose love them? Write down your answers. Both contestants you will reveal at the same time. Whoever's the closest will get 5 points.
So if Eric, if you get the 5 points, you will have beaten me by 16, which wouldn't get you have to get this exactly right to set the record for the biggest win.
I believe in myself.
So it's 17 was the record. All right. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, I'm ready too. Is JL frozen?
He might be frozen.
Oh, no.
Either that or
okay.
He's building a ton of suspense for this reveal.
So I say we both reveal our answers because that'll be fun. So let's reveal. And the good thing is Jay made these polls, so he should be able to tell us. What are you at?
Queen B. is what I put first, but I really put 41%.
Okay, so 61 to 41. All right, so Joey 61, Eric 41. Jay in the chat, do you think you could get us that poll, buddy? Or I bet I could look in Notion.
Oh,
I'm going to go look in Notion right now.
For these.
Let's see. Yeah, we do. Just bear with me. Eric, I want you to tell me about a movie you saw recently and tell me why you loved it, why I find this.
Oh, wow. I most recently saw The Little Mermaid. I loved it due to the fact that nostalgia is fun for everyone. My kids seemed to enjoy it and got them on a big Disney soundtrack kick for the following probably 2 to 3 weeks. So got to play all of the Disney bangers that I had been longing for from my childhood while we were cruising around the city and what have you.
Okay. All right, here's the polls. All right. I'm going to give you the correct answer. Fireworks. Love them or hate them. Side A, 55%. So I'm going to get 5 points here. Eric, you just missed it. I was 6 away. You were 14 away. It's going to narrow it down a little bit. So it's not so embarrassing for me today. Eric, you take the 17 to 11 win. Congratulations today, buddy.
I am pumped to get a win here. Craig, I would appreciate it if you make like baseball cards for all of the guests. I'm hoping that I can get close to the 300 line with my batting average. I usually just get steamrolled on here. And a bit surprising, 55%. I thought that fireworks haters are kind of like the vocal minority here, right? Like they aren't the plurality, but when they find a poll about how much they hate fireworks, they're creating burners to click on that poll extra time so that they can really run up the scores. So went a little low. Still happy to walk away with the dub. There's JL.
Oh,
and he's gone.
I thought he was coming back. I guess not. So, all right, guys. Eric, thank you so much for joining us today. If you want to throw your Twitter handle at us one time so we can make sure everyone follows you, what was your Twitter handle?
It is @FantasyNav, NAV.
Awesome. Well, guys, make sure that you, here with the Better Sports Network, play the Real-Time Sports Daily Pick'em contest. You set a lineup, player props, hit them all and win. The NFL, MLB, NBA, and PGA, and more. Go to rtsports.com/BSN or realtimesports.com/alarm. First-time depositors get a 100% instant match for up to $200. Deposit codes ALARM23 or BSN23. So make sure you check that out. Hey, JL. I was doing an ad read.
Wow.
I know.
Wow. It sounded delightful.
Was it delightful? I
don't know, but my power went out with a minute left in the show.
Oh, wow.
Well,
yeah.
It looks like it's back on now. So you got that.
We're good. Take us out, Joe.
Did you say Joey or JL?
Joey. Why would I say myself?
Everybody, I'm going on vacation. JL, Eric, have a great week. We'll see you next time.
See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.